Hi, welcome back to this Monday edition of Focal Point AFR Talk, 888-589-8840. Number to call if you'd like to join the program. Talk about anything that we have touched on today. By the way, got a story here about two lesbians. Remember, I told you can take a look at what's going on in the UK and you can see what's headed our way. Here is a story now about two lesbians who are going to sue a bed and breakfast. Let's see where it is. A bed and breakfast in New York. Because they were turned away by this bed and breakfast. They wanted to have their gay wedding ceremony there. The owners of the bed and breakfast said, no, that doesn't fit with our values, the kind of values we want to run this business. So now they are filing a formal complaint against Liberty Ridge Farm. So that's happening, obviously, right here in America. Elena Kagan, by the way, out there saying, hey, President Obama only gave me this job on the Supreme Court because I'm a woman. So this makes President Obama a sexist. He discriminates on the basis of gender. If you're the wrong gender, he's going to discriminate against you. If you're the wrong gender, he's not even going to consider you for a position on the Supreme Court. You're the wrong gender. That is sexism, which the left keeps saying is bad, to discriminate people based on gender. That's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad. Elena Kagan said that's the only reason that I've got this job is because President Obama is a sexist. He discriminates against people based on their gender. Now, back over to the debate tonight and the campaign. The mullahs in Iran are campaigning for Obama. That may be all you need to know about this election. The mullahs in Iran, they want Obama. They're scared to death of Mitt Romney. This is from a story in the Israel National News. Iran's government mouthpiece Press TV is panicking over the prospect of a defeat for President Barack Obama. So they're out there beating the drums for a Obama re-election. Rosa Brooks is a law professor at Georgetown. She's a senior fellow, a Schwartz Senior Fellow at the New America Foundation. But here's what's relevant. She was a counselor to the U.S. Defense Undersecretary for Policy from 2009 to 2011 and served previously as a senior advisor at the U.S. State Department. So she's worked in the Obama administration in the Defense Department and in the State Department. So when she writes something, it's got some punch. And she's got this piece on Foreign Policy magazine today in which basically she's calling for an intervention for the Obama team. She thinks things are so bad with President Obama's foreign policy team that an intervention is required. Now, intervention is what you do when somebody's got a substance abuse problem or they've got a drinking problem and they won't deal with it, they won't acknowledge it, they won't admit it, then you got to do an intervention. And she says the Obama team is so disorganized, so dysfunctional, it's time for an intervention. She says this, despite some successes large and small, Obama's foreign policy has disappointed many who initially supported him, which would include herself. She says this, he was a visionary candidate, but listen to this, as president, he has presided over an exceptionally dysfunctional and unvisionary national security architecture, one that appears to drift from crisis to crisis with little ability to look beyond the next few weeks. His national security staff is squabbling and demoralized. So she's writing from somebody who's been on the inside. Now, she gives some counsel for Obama. Her first piece of advice is get a strategy. Now, can you believe this? Here we are 4 years into this administration, and she's admitting he doesn't even have a strategy about foreign policy. Her third recommendation is get some people who actually know something. She writes in here about how President Obama is using young and untried campaign aides and putting them in these very responsible positions, and a lot of cronyism. People being picked for positions in the State Department or the Defense Department because of who they happen to know. And then step number 5, he says President Obama needs to get a backbone, sort of agreeing with the assessment that a lot of people have made that there's a real weakness at the heart of this administration in foreign policy, and weakness invites aggression. So that is what is going on with all of that. And I want to shift gears just a little bit, and happy to take your calls about the